Hey, welcome everybody. We are looking at EU4 or Europa Universalis 4, and we're going to talk about trade. Okay, so getting started here, I'll take these things away. This is what you will normally see the screen as probably. So what you want to first do is click on your shield. You want to go to the economy trade section. Economy is to the left, trades to the right. Shortcut is number 5, and you can see that there are quite a few different trade nodes available. Several actually, and so you're going to want to narrow it down to the ones that are important to you, and you do that by hovering over these icons here. You want to sort by our current trade value, try to put those at the top, and then you'll see the values provided in each of these nodes. You want to also sort to make those go at the top as well, so probably the most important being our current trade power, and then we should have it now lined up where we've got our trade values towards the top. You see that we have 2 out of 4 merchants employed right now. There are 2 different options. You can have them collect from a node, or you can have them push trade towards a node. So the next place that you want to look at is on the map. On the bottom right hand side, the shortcut is E, but you want to click that trade button or push the shortcut E, and this will show you all the trade arrows, and then they end at nodes. Okay, so one of the top nodes that I've got here is Sevilla, because I'm playing as Castile or Spain as you progress through the game. You'll notice that I do not have a merchant located here. Don't need one because I own the territory on that trade node, so we are actually going to collect 14.92 from a trade node that has a value of 12.89. We have 83%. And that's largely because Sevilla is the Castile territories that split up initially between Portugal and Castile. Here's where Aragon would be, and Navarre is up here. That's part of the French section, Bordeaux trade. Okay, so for the Sevilla, we're not actually needing to employ a merchant here, but what we can do is drive trade towards Sevilla, and we can do that from other nodes that are of high value. So this Safi, we've got 50% trade power, so we can push trade towards our Sevilla in order to draw more from it. I think we also own this territory. The trade node is right there, so if I turn it off, you can see that we actually have that territory as well, but we're not pulling from that trade. It's showing trade value is 2.31, we have 50%, and then 2.63 is pushing on there. So what we can do is collect from there, but if we do that, the most we're going to get is that 2.3 split in half is 50, just 50% of that, and then we'll apply our modifiers. We can also take a look down here to see if there's any other high value trades. I'm not seeing any that are pushing into Sevilla from the south section. I can follow those arrows. And then from the west, you'll have some trade over here. We have 90%. We're pushing 1.3 out just by default. Is flowing out of us. So we can probably push more trade towards our Sevilla. But it's, they're kind of cross-connecting over here. We've got this line here that goes down to Sevilla, and another one goes north of it to the Bordeaux trade. So another high hotspot item here. We have 18% of this trade, but you see the arrows are going away, so it's downstream from our Sevilla, and we don't control the nodes over here. So at best, we can pull out 18% of 22. Well, that 18% of 22 comes out to close to like 3.6, right? So that's actually better. It says we actually collect 5.43. We have a merchant currently employed here. I was going to go ahead and apply one, but we've already done that. So it's roughly 3.6 is our 18% of 22, but we have modifiers on the merchant, and that increases it, so that's why we're pulling 5.43 from trade. So in order to find the trade nodes from just flowing across the map here, we could also take a look. We've got the Ivory Coast of 6.59. The Ivory Coast is down here. Alright, where are we at? We've got 8% trade there. If I were to click on the Ivory Coast, it would take us to it. We don't yet have a merchant there, but it's showing that the value is 6.59. trade node in. We can go ahead and assign here, collect from trade. We've got 48% of the trade. This is the 40% of the power. We'll go ahead and put Georgie on this. Alright, so Georgie is now en route, and we'll take a look at Georgie when he arrives. And then we'll go ahead and bring it up again, take a look at the trade nodes. So that was the 6.1. And then we've got Genoa. We took a look at there, and we only had trade power of 90%, but it was a very high value node at 22. We have what else? The Ivory Coast we are now drawing from Safi. We could probably collect from Safi. It's showing us a trade value of 4.82, so we should expect to get about 4 or 5 out of that after the modifiers. Caribbean's a value of 2.83, so I'm thinking the ones that you're strongest with, sort by our current trade power, and then also the sort by value will give us the ones that we want to pull from. This one's got 19.5. The English Channel, I'm thinking I'm going to want to, yeah, we already have a guy on that one. I was going to say I'm going to want to put a guy there, so we're actually pulling 4.3 out of that one. Some other high value ones we've got here, Lubeck and Ragusa. What else? I think I want to get rid of the Safi one. So why don't I go to Champagne, and we can pull out of here, collect from trade. We'll assign Baltazar here. It's an 8.43. We got 15% of that trade. And then we're going to take the guy from Safi away. So let's take a look at something that's better than Safi. This was the Champagne area at 16. We got the English Channel, and Ragusa is another one. Alright, so this one's showing trade node as 2, sort by value. There's a 4.5 on the value for some reason. So, it's either that one or Lubeck. Let's take a look at Lubeck. Alright, Lubeck is showing 16.8 in the area. We've got 2%. I wonder, let's take a look at that. Let's see, we'll take a look at Safi, and then we're going to apply to Lubeck. So here at Safi, don't actually have somebody there, do we? We're going to click from trade. We've got Champagne, Ivory Coast, English Channel, and Genoa. Okay, that's why. Alright, very good. Well, let's go ahead and on pause, give them some time to arrive in destination. Saying we got 13 days to get there, and then we'll go take a look at Champagne. Alright, so Champagne, trade value. Look at our merchants here. Okay, we do have a guy collecting from trade and Safi. He's not getting much money out of that. English Channel, we're pulling 4. Ivory Coast is 2.9. And Genoa is 5.54. Okay, Safi just picked up with a 2.25. And then I want to take a look at Champagne. Collect from trade here. And we're going to move Safi over to that spot. So we're currently getting 2.25 off that guy. And then we'll see what he does when he gets to Champagne. So it's currently showing 0. We gotta wait for the new month. And it's a 1.9. So we were actually doing better at Safi. Let's see if it changes again here in November. And this is how you maximize the trade value you're getting out of your guys. So it is increasing slightly. It's now 2.03. So we'll go ahead and leave the merchant there collecting from Champagne, especially since I plan on taking more of the French territories, and that will increase the trade power. That brings me to another point on trade power. Let's get this guy across here. We'll get some corruption. We'll lose some money on this to bribe an advisor to take the blame. Okay. So what I'm talking about with trade power is each of these provinces will provide trade power, and you've got the trade power listed at the bottom left when you open up that province. And some are a lot stronger than others, like we've got Tarragona in Spain. This one is a pretty nice province for showing a trade power of 30.6. And so what we're going to want to do is for these that are pretty high up, you want to go ahead and build buildings that will also increase the trade power. And those are primarily, under trade here in the marketplace. And it'll tell you which ones will provide you the most. It's an actual percentage against. So if you've got a high value one, I've already applied it to most of mine. But you can see Aragon is at the top. It's number 1, 5.84. It'll increase by 1.7 if I apply this building for trade. So I just click on that and it will build out. When it's finished, we'll have increased trade power in the area, and that will in turn give us more of a cut, and we'll have a higher return on income. So right now we're pulling in 30 ducats per month, and we do have a lot of Spain, and we're starting to colonize in South America. So there you have it. This is the trade, and again, just look at those trade, the way the arrows are flowing. If we were to go to a upstream from a pretty powerful place like Sevilla, we would have been able to instead push the SAFI. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on the SAFI, and we're going to transfer trade power, and we'll take the guy from Champagne, stick him there. All right, and give him some time to arrive. It's going to be 10 days before he gets there. So it's currently showing 2.63 is being sent to Sevilla, and we're collecting. We were collecting 14.5 now. We've buffed that 2.3 a little bit more with the 2.5% increase for outgoing value. So we got a new king, and that hasn't changed either for here. So now the question is, are we pulling more out of Sevilla now that we've got that? It's hard to say. So I kind of like to do the collects. You can get yourself set up with a pretty nice modifiers as you flow into trade nodes. All right, that just increased to 2.72, and then we're pulling out of here for 14.3. But that's the difference between the collecting out or pushing on. So we're pushing on to Sevilla. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Enjoy EU4 and try to get that trade money up and running. We're at 27.12 ducats through trade, which is above our tax, which is 21.23. So that's kind of I like to use that as the benchmark. You want to have your trade higher than your tax. That makes you're doing pretty good there. All right, well, thanks again. I'll catch you next time on EU4.